I pressed the go live button. Okay, good morning. Good morning, Groovers. Check out this day. It's going to get to 23 degrees Celsius today. Oh my goodness, we're going to have spring weather. Quick glance across to Hobart Town and Mount Wellington. Is there still snow on the mountain? Oh, there's still a tiny few patches, but it's not snow covered. Hey, Deb, good morning, Groover. You working today, or are you having a nice little sunny warm off? What's happening in your world? I can't resist going live on a drive when it's this stunning. Hey, Scout, how you doing? I've got absolutely nothing to talk about because, yeah, all is right in my world, but a bit of drive therapy into work. If people have things they want to talk about, we can discuss, or if I can just enjoy the scenery. The one downside of StreamYard on your phone is using the browser. It does this amazing panoramic view for everyone, but I can't zoom in. You can't see, like right now, I can see water and it's a million miles away for you guys. Oh, well, that's a topic we could discuss, Deb. Is that today? Ugh, not a tell, not a fan. I grew up on the side of a what did they used to say? We grew up trackside. Dad had He was an owner, a trainer, and even a jockey at one point. I mean, he was 6'2", so his jockey career didn't last very long. And we grew up at Elwick watching. I won't be able to read chat for a while. The sun's in my face, so it's coming right through the window on the side, and I have to put my sunnies on, and that means I can't wear my reading glasses. But once we're on the highway, I'll be able to, or even in the causeways. Um, and I've just seen growing up trackside. You took the puppies for a walk? Nice. I put my reading glasses back on and I'm squinting. Oh, you found the GG emoji. Yeah, look, it's for those of you non-Australians that tune in, the Melbourne Cup is called the race that stops the nation because it's not a public holiday, but people all over Australia at work have sweeps and the race when it's on the whole, like they stop working and everyone watches this race, except for me and a handful of other people. See, I grew up around the racing industry and it was um, reminiscent of My Fair Lady when she goes to Ascot. It was that sort of old-fashioned country racing, getting dressed up, and Dad knew all of the bookies and jockeys and owners. And hey, Emily, yeah, he was a jockey, Deb. I mean, but when he was young, like a teen, um, heaps of photos of him riding horses, and he wasn't as tall as he was at the end of his life as he was at the start of his life, like most of us. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of issues with it. So, do I want to go down that road on this lovely morning drive? No, I think I'll just let you enjoy the Melbourne Cup, Deb. Good luck in the sweep if you're in a sweep. And I'm just going to send out a heap of very, very strong vibes that no horses are being raced today that are too young and they end up being euthanized on the track. Oh, there, I went down that road. Yeah, I've got issues about it. I mean, I've got issues generally, but I've got issues about it. So, on that note, what else is going on? Hello, Shanna. Loved your family Halloween pics. Breaking news. Oh, shit. I didn't see it. I couldn't read it. You might have to copy paste. Yeah, let's focus on the sun. Look, horses for courses, right? Everyone can be interested in whatever they want, and Deb is a very passionate horsey person. So I know that her feelings and decisions. What I have a problem with is people who do not have any involvement with horses or horse racing, but on Melbourne Cup Day they stick a fucking feather on their head, which is apparently meant to be fascinating because it's called a fascinator. They get to see a race, they're drunk, and they continue to drink and be merry when horses are falling and horrible things are happening to horses on the track in front of them and they don't give a flying fuck. That's my issue with it. But also just the money side of the industry and raising horses that are too young. But I know that people like Deb, who probably love horses more than people, apart from her son, would be a lot more educated on the industry and supporting it. It's the fuckers that have absolutely no interest, and then suddenly Melbourne Cup Day is an excuse for them to get drunk in their fascinators, and I don't find them fascinating at all. There, I said it. Oh, yeah, the John Welshing. Yeah, that happened the other day when I was live. I had people in chat saying that he'd been arrested. I don't think it'd be his first time. It didn't really surprise me. I don't know. Is there something significant about it other than the fact that he's just a dickhead who drink drives? I won't have sun in my face soon, so hopefully I'll be able to read chat a little bit more, especially if traffic is crawling. Hey, ADMI5. Oh, is my YouTube child in here? Good morning, YouTube child. Again for parole violation. Look, to be honest, and it's not that I don't care about Summer and what happened to her, I do. But YouTube channels that just flog the absolute crap out of cases actually make me a little bit less interested in them, which is, yeah, unfortunate. I think every case deserves attention. I don't know why certain cases become like an internet pandemic of sorts, and the same with Gabby Petito and Shanann and the girls. Like, why do they get more attention than other cases? Because it's sort of, it makes me fatigued is the word I was trying to think of before. I get case fatigue, and obviously I'm going to follow with curiosity in the background to see what happens, but I'll be using reputable news sources for that, not making sure I don't miss 38 different YouTubers continuing to speculate and analyse. I did a live on Sunday, Emily, that I don't know, I don't like promoting my own lives, but I did a live on Sunday before I did the headband one about the court of public opinion, and it was specifically about the little missing girl in Australia, Cleo Smith. But you might find it an interesting listen while you're cleaning the bathroom or something. Is Pisshead Greg in here? Hi, everyone coming in. As you would know if you come with me on my drives, I can't really read chat while I'm on the freeway parts or the highway parts. But when we're crawling, I'll be able to read. So if there are things you've mentioned, go back up into chat and copy paste them down a bit later when we're crawling, because I don't want anyone to have raised stuff and I'm ignoring it, because I'm not. I can't read it just yet. As soon as I can, I will, and we can address things. I think, Deb, I hope you didn't leave, Deb, because of my Melbourne Cup rant. It wasn't a big rant, trust me, but I wish you all the best with the GGs, Groover. Yeah, Cleo's getting a lot of coverage around the world, which is really good. But I address our channels, and particularly American channels, the chat. Everyone is ignoring the facts and coming up with the most gruesome theories. And I sat in several US channels trying to set the record straight with people, and I realised it's fruitless. So then my live on Sunday is questioning why people can't look at the facts on YouTube and then discuss. Why do the facts not matter? Facts are the most critical part of any case, any case. But on YouTube, you can have people going, blah, 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 and 30 people going, no, that's incorrect, it's this. And they just still sit there going, blah, blah, blah. They don't listen. They don't give a fuck. It really frustrates me. I'm so much more into observational YouTubers these days. People that are like me that would rather watch something and think about why it's happening the way it is and talk about that. That's way more interesting to me, because YouTube is just for fun, full stop. It's not for, well, it is for knowledge if you're watching a how-to video. I've learned a lot of shit on YouTube. But in terms of like true crime communities, they're not the authorities and the, you know, the informed sources. You've got a creator who is purely talking about the facts. They will still have a chat full of people that are completely ignoring the facts. But this desire to go to the worst case scenario, I mean, there is no worst case scenario than your child missing. But, you know, blaming the parents, and I talk about why that's a default for many people. But then you get an opportunity to actually watch the parents. You get opportunities to watch body language experts discussing how the parents are behaving. You get to read what the police have put out, and all of that information that's genuinely coming from the source, from the case, is completely ignored by so many people on YouTube in true crime communities. They don't want to listen to the facts. Is there a poon in my chat? Good grief. G'day. But yeah, there's quite a few channels. There's Punky Banana too, who puts up daily updates, or roughly every day, of just the news. Puts little videos up, no discussion, no lives, just here it is, this is the latest. So if you want to keep informed, she's great at doing, or hey, I don't know Punky Banana's orientation, or, you know, whatever it might be. It may not be a he or a she, could be a them or a there. But yeah, Punky's doing just updates of the pure, like, news, the facts that are coming out in the news. Oh, thank you, Scout. Isn't Scout the best mod in the world? Like, no offense to any other mods in chat, but she's unbelievable. I just start talking about someone, and before I've even finished, their link to their channel is in the chat. Thank you to Scout. Scout's the bomb. But I love all of you mods. Ruth's a bit of a weapon mod as well. And Will the Rocker doesn't do too bad when he's around. So, yeah, I don't know, Emily, you may or may not find it interesting. We're crawling now, so I'll be able to read chat. I'm going to have to open my window so my phone doesn't overheat because it's a warm morning. Yep, breaking news. Brian Laundrie is still dead. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no issue with people watching YouTube true crime channels for entertainment purposes, but that is where it begins and where it really should end. Unless you've got the sort of true crime analyst channels like Gray Hughes and this new kid that's kind of becoming a big deal. What's his name? Adrian Mull or something, who's sort of out there with drones and, those people, you'll learn some shit. Yes, I've forced Emily to listen to my. I just think you'll find it really interesting, Emily. It's a sort of conversation that you and I would have if we lived next door to each other and were sitting on one of our decks, not dicks, and just having a chat. It's a conversation you and I would have, I reckon. Oh, look at ADM15 throwing love around. Giving love to all the renters. Deb's a real life mate of mine, and I gave her a wrench, and I don't think she has ever wielded it. But I think it's important that you have some of your actual real life buddies who pop in and out of YouTube helping you out with spanners. Well, I'm a big Gray Hughes fan. He does facts. May not agree politically, but I can't even remember what his politics are. Is he? Oh, it doesn't really matter, but I've actually gone back to watching Gray a lot more because he's quite interesting to have just playing in the background while you're, pottering around the garden or cleaning down the carport or that sort of stuff. What do you do with it? Well, Deb, you can time people out and you can block people. You've got some power, girl. Just don't do it for the hell of it, though. And the other thing with Gray that I like having him on in the background, if I want to listen to, a YouTuber, I can have my Bluetooth speaker with me down in the garden, doing fire pot or, like I said, mucking things out in the carport to get ready for hard rubbish or whatever I might be up to. And I don't have to worry about my neighbours suddenly hearing out of control shrieking. And although when he does his thing to try and get people to hit the likes, the racing thing, I do cringe a little bit. If people are walking past, I'm like, the "you're so mean" stuff, the little funny voices. But for the most part, I'm kind of saying that having him on my Bluetooth speaker when I'm outdoors, people are far less horrified than if I had MGL shrieking like a banshee. Emily, look at you. You're becoming the little YouTube panel expert. Go, you good thing. Gray Hughes, I'm behind, says Shanna. Still driving. I was just talking about all these YouTube channels that just jump on a certain case and don't shut up about it, and the lack of facts. Oh, thank you, Scout. That parody, my God. It was so funny rewatching it, even though I don't like watching me, but I enjoyed reading the chat while you guys were watching it the other day, just seeing people going, oh, my favourite part's coming up, and I had no idea it was that loved. YouTube will blow up next month with the Chad and Laurie Dable. Well, that's a really interesting case. And there's stuff happening with that one, That one's worth discussing. I won't be following it. I don't have the time, but I won't be following it on my channel, but I'll certainly tune in to be honest, I quite listening to court TV on YouTube. I quite enjoy just listening to the trials myself. You learn a way lot more about it than if you put on some channel that's, you know, speculating and has a wild chat that are really hardcore about everything except any facts at all. Or channels that are just streaming that shit. I'd rather just watch the channel they're streaming, to be honest. Natasha and Lily were hilarious. The thing that cracked me up about it, because Mel still cracks me up when I watch it, but we really didn't know that much about them. Like, we'd watched a little bit of them, um, but not enough to have really got a sort of, you know, like a complete idea of who they are or what they're like. We had no idea, actually. And Mel and I both sort of said in hindsight, we didn't realise what we were walking into when we did that. I mean, the complexities of all of these feuding channels and stuff I've now realised, but at the time we were a bit oblivious to just what was really going on. So we both know we inherited some subscribers who are anti NC and Lynn, because we took the piss out of them, I guess. And the other thing was just some of the stuff that we got right without even knowing. Oh, thank you, Shanna. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Letitia Sort case as well. Yeah, Court TV, the live chat is great. I mean, I rarely get to sit and watch and join in because usually channels like that are live. Like I've listened to Court TV driving into work, so I don't really get to see chat or participate or anything. But I just like listening to the trials. You both stayed in character, so I did, and I was cracking up. I kept having to turn my head and make a little mask with my hair to cover up the fact that I was losing it. But yeah, you know, it was fun, and there's other parodies I really want to do, but the problem is it doesn't matter who you do. There's going to be politics, you know. There's going to be feuding channels, and do I still have Messenger? I do, Scout. I do. Love me my Messenger. Best thing Facebook ever did, or Meta, as they're called now. What's that all about? Meta. Well, it's going to be a slow crawl in. I won't be late, but I probably won't have the amount of time I normally get. I don't know what's happening this morning. It's reminiscent of the olden days. Hasn't been this slow along here for a long time. I could have gone the country way, although I wouldn't have been able to read chat much. Hello, Ruth. We were talking about you earlier, and here you are. Are you going to message me, Scout? Have you got something to send me? So, yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun doing the parody, but had no idea that there was a lot of politics attached by doing it. I've got to get Sarita and Lee D in there too for Natalia and Linley. Oh, yeah, we ended up doing a parody with very little information or knowledge about the complicated corner of YouTube that those two characters rock around in. Pictures, cool. Were you being naughty? No, I was just talking about some of my superb wrenches, you being one of them. Although I did talk about you last night. I was out with my family. Um, go, 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 go. Will she thank me? No. The other people thanked me. Well, little blue Outlander lady, you get Rude Bint of the Day award. But yeah, I talked about you last night. I don't know if your ears were burning. I was out with my little family because it's really weird not having parents anymore. Like my sister and brother and I are the matriarchs and patriarchs of the family, and I'm not ready for that shit. So we took out to dinner my nieces Jemima and Lily, and my nephews James and Jock, and Jock's girlfriend Tilly, and we went to a really funky burger joint, a little family gathering. But throughout the course of the discussions, because my sister's just bought a 15-acre property with her husband, they're going to have quite a few animals, including chickens. And I told her she had to get a doodle cock. And I showed her Anton. No, there's no such thing as a mediocre wrench in my channel. We don't get a lot of shit happening, even with the RDA dudes, cruising in, and ex-RDA and everything else. They all tend to be respectful in here. And I've always said anyone's welcome in my chat as long as they don't slag off other creators or my subs. And as long as there's no hate speech, come hither. If you want to hang here, hang here. Was your hair on fire? Your ears were burning so much, Ruth? I think Anton his ears would have been a ringing. He's like, someone on the other side of the world is showing me in my... You've got to subscribe to Ruth's channel, everyone, in chat if you haven't, even just to follow the antics of her doodle cock. Have a beautiful day, Deb, and I hope you do really well in the sweep. Love you, girl. The video should come with a depends warning. We are a classy and loving channel, indeed. But we also, what I like about my chat is people like that Poon dude's come and gone, I think. But like I had RDA in my chat the other day, and I kind of like the actual RDA channel, so I'm assuming it was Ross. I don't know. But these are people that we hear about all the time on other channels, and all these creators have really strong opinions and talk about them, and then they cruise in my chat and they're just like, g'day. I mean, sometimes Rev, who used to come in, used to deliberately be racist in my chat just to be a wanker, but he got removed for that, because that's just him. I thought, fuck, dude, you've got an opportunity to just chill out and be decent, and he chose not to, so blocked. But I make up my own mind about how I feel about people, and I only look at how people behave in my chat. That's where I form my opinions. I don't give a fuck what they've done in other places because I don't know the background story. I don't know who started the feud or what they've been put through, or not that I'm one of those you started at people, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know enough about them to have it. I mean, I had Cosmic in the other day as well, and they all just come in and have a chat. And I think it's good for us to see them in their natural state, just bouncing around. If they act like dickheads, we'll all be like, well, that was an unfortunate dickhead moment, like with Rev dropping racist terms in my chat. But I like it when people pop in and I'm like, oh, I've heard a heap of creators being very scathing about you, and they come in and say g'day and hang out for a little while and off they go. It's like, well, I don't have a problem with you. But I also, just by my nature, I always side with what I'd call, the underdogs. And on YouTube, there's so many people that you can tune into 20 different channels, and the people on the you know, those channel owners will just be slamming someone. And that automatically makes me think, oh, I want to get to see what that person's like in their own, you know, in their natural habitat. Doesn't mean I'll go to their channel to see what they're like, but if they drop in here, I'm happy to just judge them on their behaviour. I don't judge them, but just however they behave is how I feel about them. We're a refreshing little corner of YouTube where I actually love it when I've got people from different sides of YouTube wars in my chat at the same time being nice to each other. It's a buzz. Makes me feel good. I hope it makes you girls and guys feel good too, because you're all part of this environment we provide where people can just come in and hang out and put all their shit at the door, lay down their arms and hang out. And I kind of like that. I mean, we're all trying to navigate this absolutely insane YouTube world together. We might as well all just come here for a bit of a chill out. You know, we're kind of the chill out tent of YouTube. When you go to a music festival, there's usually a chill out tent, which is actually providing a valuable service. It's sort of where kids that have, you know, started pinging off their heads a little bit too much and they're kind of losing their shit can go and be sort of looked after by people, and there's, you know, usually bean bags and stuff like that, and they can literally just sit there and chill out. Yeah, I love this view too. I love driving over causeways to go to work, driving over water. It's fun. Has Molly been here? No. No. Back in the day, like back when we all first came to YouTube, when I subscribed to Molly, she didn't even have 5,000 subs. Like there was a time she knew me, but she didn't know me as Traces of Nuts. So even if she saw me floating around now, I don't think she would automatically work out who I am. She's kind of clueless. But for a long time, she knew me as Tori or Yum Tours. We are a loving family. Everyone's welcome here. All the little broken-winged people can hang here together. Yeah, or a drumming circle. Yeah, same concept. Chill out tent, drumming circle. And we're kind of, I like to think we're the drumming circle, the chill out tent of YouTube. We do. We go into all kinds of lovely places. I meant to take you guys up on Mount Wellington to play in the snow. I'm going to have to do that next year, unless we get a late snow, which we've just had another one. But being so far away from the mountain now, it's like, oh, I've got to rug up and drive in, and I'll probably get there and the gates won't be open. Oh, yeah, when we went to Bonnarong, wasn't that fabulous? To meet a wombat. That was the Wally World of Australia, or Tasmania at least. That was when Piss Week Tours was pretty much established as a legitimate tourist company. Yeah, the sky is stunning today. That's one of the benefits of having these, because it's only 12 degrees at the moment, but it's going to get to 23 Celsius, which is a lovely temperature. But the cold mornings, we get these drop-dead gorgeous sunrises and beautiful blue skies. And because we're a little island surrounded by water, our sky the blue is very blue. The kangaroo. That was fun. I like doing stuff. I like taking the piss out of myself. It just cracked me up that I took you on that journey and no, they didn't deliver. I loved the little video that NewsTubers did of it with Diane in one of the exhibition areas, like in one of the little cages, and I'm standing there going, I can't see anything, and there's this little Diane's channel character jumping up and down inside the cage. Oh yeah, Melmo has the kangaroo stalker, Lawrence. I would imagine the light and the sky and everything would be very different for all of you in autumn right now. Yeah. We're heading. I mean, I'm wearing bare legs today and a little dress, like a knee length dress with bare legs and sandals. And 2 days ago, yesterday, I was in a coat and boots and beanie. Oh, and I had jeans and a top on as well. Oh no, I didn't. I had a tunic on. Welcome to Tasmania. If you don't like the weather, come back in 5 minutes. Yeah, Diane in the Cage, that newstubers one cracked me up. Mel did a funny little video as well of the day we went to Bonnarong. We'll go back. I'm determined to show you fuckers a wombat. Causeway number 2. McGee's Bridge. But yeah, Molly hasn't come into my chat. But when people come in and they're kind of contentious or, they're well known on YouTube or whatever, I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing in here? Or they're the sort of creators in the communities that brought us all together. I'm like, holy shit. I remember Fod came into my chat one time when I was driving home. I nearly ran off the road. I was like, how do you even find me? How do you people even find me? Yeah, I see your best skies, Bruce, and I raise you a Tasmanian sky. I mean, we all share similar sky. We all share sky. Only Bruce, look at Bruce being competitive. We have the best. You're starting to sound like we're the best country in the world person, Bruce. What's up with you? Have you been dipping into the sherry, love? You do have a lovely sky in England. I remember it well. There was a lot of water coming out of it all the time. And I literally drove over the border. I'd been in Wales where it was like this, and I literally drove over the border into England, and within 5 minutes it was just pissing down the entire drive back to Heathrow. This little Tasmanian girl navigating your fucking crazy highways. Plus, it was the end of the Leeds Reading Music Festival, so the traffic was horrific. There was shitloads of accidents. I remember your sky. I didn't fly from Tasmania to go there to paint your rain. What happened to Fod? Did she just leave? Did she just go, fuck this shit, I'm packing up my 783 trolls and I'm out of here? I was thinking about that the other day. There's so many people that used to be around that just, you suddenly go, fuck, what happened to them? I heard that Science Gone Girl's gone. Science Girl is now Science Gone Girl. Again, she gone. But yeah, maybe that's what we could do for the rest of this drive is let's think of people that used to be around that just aren't anymore. They're there 1 minute and gone the next. And then you've got people like Anne that really should have just gone. And she's fucking come back and she's worse than before she left. It's a crazy little world we frolic in on the YouTubes. But just remember, everyone, YouTube is just for fun, full stop. Probably banned. Well, there's another one who was banned and gone. Critical K. That was a spectacular wiped off the face of YouTube fall from grace. Negs, gone. I didn't really know Negs. I'd only really just sort of heard about Negs, and then Negs, gone. Truthy Magoo. Now, that was a dramatic departure from YouTube. Faking your own death. Interesting. Interesting. Come on, chat. Who are some other ones? Like every now and then I'll just be pottering around and I'll be like, fuck, whatever happened to so-and-so? Like, do you think they're still sort of lingering? Or they've come back with a new name and nobody knows it's them? I won't be able to read chat now. I asked you guys to give me some names. So bad timing. Because now I'm cruising down the highway in the hot, hot sun. How bizarre. I think I saw Emily say that Critical K might be back, coming back. But there were channels that I used to watch and listen to, and I don't even remember if I necessarily enjoyed them or I enjoyed the train wrecks or what it was. And then it's like, where'd they go? They're just gone. They didn't have a going away party. I'm not talking about ones obviously who passed away. I mean, that's, you know, you don't really have a choice to leave when you die. Even sometimes, people in chat that are really, they stand out because they're really antagonistic or argumentative or funny. Not that there's many of those, but thankfully the funny folk do seem to find their way to me and Mel Mel. But, even people in chat that used to be someone that you bantered with all the time, gone. Where'd you go? Thanks for inviting me to your going away party. Not. And then there's other people that are still around, and you're like, how the fuck are they still even on here? And how do they have 20,000 subscribers? Or 10,000 or even 5,000? You're like, what? People that are called out constantly for doing really dodgy shit, and they're still on YouTube with people loving them. That wouldn't happen in the real world. Yeah, Casper's live with MGL was really good, I thought. He did really well. I think he didn't he say he was fanboying a bit though? He did something that a lot of YouTubers aren't able to do with Molly, and that was he got very short answers out of her and moved on. Because sometimes Molly will go into the make it all about herself rants that we're all familiar with. Or, she'll be on a panel talking about a case and suddenly the whole live becomes about her. Yeah, there's a little bit of snow still on top of Mount Wellington. Not much, but enough to still be able to see it. I'll try and scroll back through chat when I'm in the car park doing my face. I'm on my own for half a day today at the office. My colleagues are off to a conference, so I'm running the show. We've got another girl that'll be in the sort of executive assistants coming in today too, so she'll help me. But I think it's going to be a busy day. And then I'm off till Monday. Woohoo! I think I might be dusting off my bathers, getting down to the beach. Although, what's the bet? Today's 23 degrees Celsius, sunny, beautiful day. Tomorrow it'll probably be 9 degrees and snowing. But this weather hopefully will put people in a good mood. We've had a lot of stormy, rainy, windy weather, so a bit of sunshine will cheer the place up for sure. So, Cass, hi Cass. I can occasionally do a quick glance to chat. Hello to anyone that's cruised in that I haven't said g'day to. Good to have you here. And it's funny too, there's other channels that I used to watch all the time and now I put them on. I'm like, why did I even like you? Like, you really annoy me now. Like, it makes me question. It's like, whoa, where was my headspace when I thought you were worth listening to? Hello, Joey. How are you, Groover? We're talking about channels and people on YouTube that come and go, and you suddenly one day you're doing something and you're like, whatever happened to so and so? Check out the weather, Joey. Tasmania's getting what should be a spring day. But being in spring, we've had days like this, but then there's been just a week and a half of winter following. It's a really lush day. It feels like summer is coming. Woo. In fact, hang on, isn't the 1st of November summer or is it the 1st of December? I can't remember. Yeah, it's a ripper day. Ripper day. Oh, 0 Celsius. Yikey. Don't forget you can type in caps and yell at me while I'm driving. It's not rude because I can't read the phone. It's a long way from my face. You have to do a cull on your subscription list. See, I did a cull and then I'm bummed now because I'd love to go. I wish I hadn't. I suppose if their channels go, they'd just disappear from your list, wouldn't they? But I'd love to. I wish I hadn't done a cull because every now and then I'm like, oh, I'd love to be a bit retro and just put on a channel I used to watch all the time and see what they're up to now. Oni, there's another one, but I mean, we all know what happened to Oni. I mean, there were channels that we all frolicked in, a lot, and they just vanish, and you're like, huh? Or there were names of channels that you would hear all the time and watch occasionally to see what all the fuss was about, and then they just vanish. Like FOD's an example of that. We are that old, we can talk. I'm calling them retro YouTube channels. Vintage, vintage YouTube. The rise and fall. There's a lot to be said for new creators that come onto the YouTube platform, in my observation, that don't take their time to kind of suss out the community and see how it works and, sort of slot themselves in and be a bit low key at the start and get to know the place. Because the channels that come in with all guns blazing and very vocal about other creators and channels and no respect or regard for the community and how it kind of functions, it never ends well. Never. When you come to YouTube and if you suddenly take off, if your channel takes off and gets bigger than Ben-Hur for some inexplicable reason, a bit of humility goes a really long way. But you think about channels that appear, people that appear, and they're very opinionated and very vocal and on every panel and bouncing around and ripping people to shreds or, criticising people or the community that don't really kind of make an effort to fit in first. It never ends well. I've got 3 examples in my brain right now. One of them's gone. Another one is now the centre of all kinds of accusations and scandals. And so is the other one. There's heaps of other channels going gung-ho to bring him down. And part of me thinks, well, if they've been shady fuckers on YouTube, it should be put out there. But also you could see it coming before it happened because it's like nobody rocks up to a school on their first day and tells everyone how it is, or a job, or you move to a community. And if you do that, I've got a real life example of people that have moved down to our area. Well, they've bought a beach house. They've made absolutely no effort to just suss out the vibe of where we all live. And we're a cruisy little coastal town. And they've fucked off the whole town. Like, nobody likes them because of their attitude. They're very entitled. They've extended their property out over Crown land. They've blocked off a public pathway. They do 80 Ks down residential streets where it's 50 Ks. They park in the service station part of our little local IGA and treat it like their own personal car park right at the front. So people that need to get fuel can't because they're blocking it. They're just entitled assholes. And they didn't make an effort to just see how our little coastal town cruises around and how we all look out for each other. They've managed to get everyone offside because they have shown absolutely no regard for our community whatsoever. And you look at these creators that come to YouTube and people that come to YouTube and suddenly they've got a very loud hate channel happening and they're all over the place ripping people to shreds, and you think, you don't even know the history. Like, maybe just, suss it all out first before you become this very vocal mouthpiece and half of what you're saying isn't actually correct. And people aren't, for some reason, correcting them either or educating them. They just let them go without saying, well, actually, you're wrong on that. And like I said, I can think of 3 channels off the top of my head. One of them's gone. And the other 2 are now the subject of a heap of other channels letting everyone know how dodgy they are. And I could tell before this even happened, it wasn't going to end well for any of them. It might take a couple of years. It might only take a few months, but eventually they will all come crashing down. Because if you started a new job and you were telling everyone, including your seniors, how it all goes, the same thing would happen. Or when you're starting school or when you move to a little town, whatever it is, nobody likes a smart ass. Helm Gold. G'day. So true. You try, but you get blocked. Yeah, well, exactly. Anyone calling out the truth is very likely to get blocked on YouTube. God forbid being honest is not a good quality on YouTube at all. It's the bizarro world of YouTube. It's like everything we know about life in the real world doesn't apply on YouTube, which is why I'm fascinated by it. It's like, how can this place exist? And it's the polar opposite of the real world. Like, I'm all for escapism, but when you're in a community where you can go live and talk with real people and talk about real people and so on, why don't the basic common human principles apply? Hello, Morgan M. Good morning from Taswegia. So my channel, I'm going to start doing a lot more of my observational stuff rather than dropping comments in chats hither and thither. I'm actually going to start doing some lives, open panels. Let's be observational. I mean, we are anyway, but I'm starting to feel like I don't think I'm going to change anyone's mind. But if I do, like, just change one person's mind, it'll be worth it. Like with my live about Cleo Smith the other day, if one person sort of goes, okay, fair call, I'm going to stop saying that the parents didn't even take her to the campground because there's evidence she was there, then it's worth it. You love our little downtown? If I wasn't a little bit later than I usually am, I'd take you for a bit of a drive, but I've got to get to the car park and stick my face on. I was at a sea of blue again. I did take a few renters away to try to dilute it a bit because when I first came to YouTube, I always felt very intimidated in a sea of blue renters. I never wanted to talk, and I don't want anyone who comes to my channel to feel the same. I went a bit crazy and gave everyone renters one day, and I was like, no, I need more people in my chat than mods, and I wonder if it puts people off even talking because there's so many renters. Thanks, Helm Dog. It's a cute little town. There's a lot of roadworks and construction going on, and there's a lot of mixed architecture, which I really like. Oh yeah, all the mods in here are lovely. But back in the day when you first discovered YouTube and you'd go into a channel and there were all mods and just you going, hi. Like when I do my scam baiting and I get up to like 30 or 40 people watching, the mods are a bit more diluted, and I think it's less intimidating to some people. I've got a client today who's got the most complicated case, and the poor thing is she rang at 4:45, which annoys me because I knew as soon as I started talking to her she was going to need at least an hour with a lawyer for her first call. And I said to her, I can only chat quickly, we'll book you in tomorrow. And I've booked her in with me. Um, but the poor thing just kept saying, I just want to know what my rights are. And she's got such a complex matter that her rights, it's not a case of just saying, these are your rights, bang, 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 because certain elements of her case almost cancel out other aspects. And yeah, it's going to be a very complicated phone call. My brain is, luckily, I've booked her in early ish. My brain will still be relatively switched on. I'll do my best to help her, but man, it's full on and so multifaceted that I've got to get all the little ducks in the row to try and work out how to give her advice on her rights. So wish me luck on that call, because it's going to be a big one. Hopefully I'll be able to, oh no, I can't park where I don't have some natural light or I'll end up looking like a friggin', oh no, a reserve park. Oh, okay, this will do. It's enough light for my face. You would like to see Sunny? Oh, I've got some gorgeous photos of her of late. What did you say, dog? You're a, oh, what have I missed? I'll quickly do a scroll. Just found out they found an 18-year-old family vault under Central Station. They're looking for their ancestors. Oh, that sounds interesting. I don't need a wrench. I'm a people person. If I get kicked over, you'll only get kicked if you. Oh, it's Heimdall. Okay. See, I couldn't see that when I was driving. I was thinking helm was an unusual word, but Heimdall. Yeah, everyone's welcome here as long as you don't um, use hate speech. And the only other rule I have is I'm not a fan of people ripping creators and people in chat to shreds. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind if people want to talk about things that are happening on YouTube with certain creators and we're factual and comment on how we feel about it. But, you know, if someone comes in all guns blazing and says so-and-so's an effing cunt, well, they're going to get timed out. It's off to the naughty corner. And once they've been timed out, if they come back in and they start saying that shit again, they get timed out again. And they continue to be sent to the naughty corner if they continue to do it. But if you just come in and say blatant hate speech, bang, boom, you're blocked. That's pretty much it for me with my channel. Pisshead Greg, just pulling in to pick up a fresh pack of Winnie Blues. Nice. So you are. I was right. I knew you had to be an Aussie with that name. When I was an exchange student in America, and I turned 19 when I was over there, and I lived in Missouri, and the drinking age in Missouri was 21, but in Kansas it was still 19. So I could go over the border and buy grog. And that was the beauty of Kansas City. It sat in two different states. So yeah, I could legally drink in Kansas, but not in Missouri. But my dad had to come to the US for work, and he came to visit me, which was amazing. And I'm 19 in America, haven't seen anyone in my family for like 9 months or whatever it was. And Dad was like, is there anything you'd like me to bring you over? And I said, yeah, a bottle of Bundy and a carton of Winnie Blues. And he did, bless him. And he also brought me a box of Violet Crumbles, which everyone went absolutely nuts about. All my friends at the high school I was going to. I took him in one day and gave all my mates a Violet Crumble, and they were all like, holy shit, this is amazing. Dad's favourite lollies in Australia or sweets were Velvet Crumbles. Velvet Crumbles, Violet Crumbles. Sorry, I'm putting my face on at the moment too. Once I've got my powder on, I'll have another look at chat. But yeah, pretty cool dad. Travels halfway around the world to see his daughter who's living and studying in America. And I asked, and he brought a bottle of OP Bundy too. Holy shit. My host sister and I got really drunk one day on it, and my host mother lost her shit and tipped the whole lot down the sink. I was absolutely mortified. The OP Bundy gone in 60 seconds. She tipped the whole lot down the sink. I was like, no. I mean, admittedly, Brenda and I were naughty getting drunk after school on a Tuesday or whatever it was we were doing, but the carton of Winnie Blues didn't get chucked out. Yes, hello, daughter. We all miss you terribly. Here are some mementos from home: alcohol and cigarettes. Smoke up, Johnny. Oh, they were the good old days. Life was simple then. All right. What's happening in chat? A drink called Bundy. Yeah, Bundaberg rum. Have there been any cooters in chat? No. Heimdog. So what was your previous name? Oh, is it Heimdall's Cooter? Yeah, cancer sticks. They were the good old days. Ah, yes, Heimdall. But see, well, the Cooters, the OG Cooters, we're no longer frolicking on YouTube. We came and went in a blaze of glory. We were fucking robbed by a fellow Cooter. Outed all of us. Mm, I'm still triggered by that memory. I had so much fun being a Cooter, and we were all just having fun because it was so funny going into a chat and a creator going, hello, such and such Cooter. We just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And, that was back in the day when if you were trolling, it was for fun and laughs. But unfortunately, a little channel was created to become a channel for all the Cooters. And it was a channel that this YouTube creator already had 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers. You changed the name of the channel, you still got all those subs, and they all knew who we were. And I was at a music festival having the time of my life while the Cooter world was crumbling, and I was absolutely devastated. Devo. You like the wall? Hey, all in all, we're just another brick in that wall, let's be honest. All right, just putting on my arm anchor. I'll be able to chat for about 5 minutes once my head is done, and then I'll head into work. I'm not starting early today because it's a long day ahead of me. I'm running the show. Would you leave me in charge with your legal service for the day? I've been on my own in there a few times now, so I'm obviously doing okay, but it can be a bit daunting. It gets a bit busy. And because of the COVID mandated vaccinations for healthcare workers in Tasmania at the moment, which there's going to be another hearing. They tried to get an injunction to stop the mandated vaccinations last week, and the Chief Justice was like, "No, you don't have a strong argument. I'll give you a week, come back and we'll discuss it further." But there's a lot of people yesterday who received termination letters, 175, I think, because they refused to get vaccinations, nurses and so on. We've got amazing graffiti here. Who said that? Was it Cass? Yeah, we've got a lot of. I'll see you, Cooter. We've got a lot of. See you, Joey. Thanks for dropping in. A lot of dedicated walls here for graffiti and street art. We've got like full laneways. I'll do a graffiti tour one night because there's some amazing laneways with incredible artwork. Even the mural of my cat Biscuit on top of the 10 Lives Op Shop building. We've got some amazing street artists, and the council's like, yeah, we're all for it. Even the Hobart Rivulet, which is just over here. In fact, I'll show you that before I log off. We'll walk over there. If I can carry my phone and all my shit. I may not be able to. But yeah, we've got some spectacular graffiti in Hobart, and it's all, you know, because they sort of said these are walls and buildings, you go for gold, go for broke. We don't have that sort of nasty graffiti just to fuck up buildings and stuff. Like, people are respectful that they've got spaces they can go and work. And it's really lovely walking down these laneways during the day, and there'll be all the kids with their cans and everything doing their stuff. It's great. It adds to the fabric of the city big time. You know, but this is a very arty island, and it's another form of art. So it's encouraged here, as long as they don't put it on buildings that you can't. But there's so many that they're allowed to. They don't need to fuck up every single wall because they've got plenty of places to do their work. I love that about this city. I can't take you to work with me. Someone's drawn it. Well, there's not actually a drawing. It's the glue where a reserve parking sign used to be. The mural will be there forever. Someone's drawn around that lonely brick. That made me laugh the way you worded that. Why? Why draw around the lonely brick? That brick is the prettiest brick on the wall. Yeah, the biscuit mural will be there forever. Well, as long as they own that building, it will. In fact, even if they sell it, I reckon people will leave it on there because it's kind of a bit of a Hobart um, icon now. Do I have time to? What I might do is do a really quick walk over to the rivulet and show you um, some of the graffiti, and then I'll sign off because I need to start working. It's 15 minutes. So let me just. But yeah, Biscuit is forever immortalised. Oh shit! I know the cat's happened. I'll come back and get my stuff in a sec. Yeah, Jarman, who did the Biscuit mural, is definitely Tasmania's best street artist and probably one of Australia's best street artists. He does murals inside corporate buildings. So like, you get out of the lift and there's his murals, and it's graffiti and street art. It's incredible. But so this is the rivulet, which was nearly overflowing before. But yeah, there's graffiti down there, and I mean, this isn't. Trust me, when I take you to one of the laneways, you'll be like, "Holy shit!" I don't know how I feel about them doing the graffiti on the sandstone, but um, I mean, there's a lot of tags which aren't really cool, but that's a really fresh one. But there's a little bit of graffiti over there too, but you can sort of hopefully see. Can you see it? Oh, hang on. And that goes the whole way up. Sort of, there's a bridge up there, and there's graffiti like up under the bridge. I personally love it. I don't think it's vandalism at all. But I'll take you to the laneways. Some of them are unbelievable. Even the bins are graffitied. So they've got graffiti on all the bins, that whole laneway there. But like I said, there's some really good ones. But there's, Banksy, get your heart out. But there's like Facebook pages and websites and stuff which tells them, where they can actually go and do the graffiti. But yeah, it's part of the streetscape. Dude just walked down the steps and he's got what we call a goon bag. It's like the bladder of a wine cask, and he's lighting a ciggy and just letting him get ahead of me a bit because I reckon he might be a bit, drink. So, yeah, but I'll take you into the city. That's now that we've talked graffiti, I'll show you one of the laneways. It's just like, it's exquisite. Some good colours. But I really like that one there. You spotted a kangaroo, little love heart. So that's a good idea. I'll do a live soon. We'll do a little graffiti tour. And ones like this, they do actually paint over them and let people do more tags. Like, you're allowed to do your tags. See how they're only tagging the bits that are painted grey? Hawker Sattler. Hawker Sattler. It does taste how some of them are incredible. So, yeah, we'll do that soon, Groovers. But I'm going to log off, boo-boo. Have a great day, everyone. Can you see that little blue face there? Why bother? It says it's upside down face with why bother. But I love you, Groovers. Take care, and I'll see you soon. And I'll let you know. We'll do a live and we'll go and have a look at some of the graffiti laneways of Hobart. I agree. The tags not so much, but yeah, the artwork is magnificent. Like I said, I'll take you. We'll go and see some pretty awesome street art. This is all kind of a bit amateur-y compared to other parts of town. But I love you, Groovers, and stay safe, like Chair Detective ML5 just said. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.